Ana 10 minutes or less. So the Rhine one did pretty well, so may as well do the Ana one. I did let the sub-server vote on whether we would do Ana or Myra next, and it came down to Ana in a very close 5-4, so Ana first, Moira later, and then maybe another tank or maybe a DPS, even though half of them are just hit your shots. Anyway, Ana, 10 minutes or less. Very first thing I will say, before anything else, before, how to use nade, how to use sleep, etc., etc. Ana is the most mechanically demanding hero in the game. Like, straight up. You have to know how to aim your shots. You have to know when to scope. You have to know when not to scope. You have to know how to nade. You have to know how to hit your sleeps, etc., etc. So, play Ana either if your aim is good, or if you need to work on your aim. But if your aim is straight trash and you don't even want to try practicing your aim, don't play Ana. Like, your value with her is going to be down if you're not even confident or trying. Alright, so very first thing about Ana, obviously got to work on the rifle first. The rifle has two modes. When you hip fire, you don't go through the scope. It's a projectile, so you will need to lead it, and it will have a travel time. Keep that in mind when you're actually firing, so you'll have to, predict the shots a bit, and, be ready to miss some. Meanwhile, if you scope in, it will be hit scan. It'll be, instant. You don't need to lead. Literally just hit the shot. But the downsides are, there will be a tracer on the bullet, so people actually see where the bullet's coming from, and you'll be a lot slower and see less. Like, if there's, a tracer coming after you, let's say that spray is a tracer, if you're scoped in, your field of view is lessened, so you're not gonna see her. So, a lot of people will try to quick scope, where you literally just do that quick scope in and fire a shot. The only reason I don't do that is because I can't get the timing down. Otherwise, I would way more often. Because, if I try it, my fire rate is way less. So I literally just... You'll only ever see me hit fires on it unless I'm holding a really solid angle. So yeah, that's the basics of the gun. So Ana's nade does three things. The first, and the most powerful of the three, is that it'll purple anyone it hits. Everyone who's purpled cannot be healed by any means. They can't be mercy healed, they can't be Kiriko healed, they can't be healed by health packs, they can't self-heal. No healing. They have to cleanse. And the only things that can cleanse are Kiriko Suzu, or Bell, whatever you call it, or Sombra Translocator. Those are the only things that can get rid of purple. If you are in the middle of a fight, if your Rhine is swinging on the enemy right now, and you land a purple, the strongest thing you can say to your team, the strongest thing you communicate is, Rhine purple, or Arisa purple, or Mercy purple. If someone is purpled, they are effectively marked for death. Anyone purpled just will die if your team can follow up on it. Like, if you're just throwing purples in the middle of nowhere where no one can follow up on it, then, you just wasted your nade. But if you're in, like, a Rhine v Rhine situation and you literally just, let me wait for the nade to come down. If you're in a Rhine v Rhine situation, you literally just throw your nade in the middle of both, your Rhine wins. There's no saving the other Rhine. Anyone purpled is marked for death. The second thing the nade does is it'll heal whoever it hits. Originally, this amount was 100 healing, but, and I'm gonna go on a little rant here. I'm venting. I'm using y'all for free therapy really quick. They nerfed it from 100 to 60, literally yesterday morning, and I fucking hate that because they said it was because Ana doesn't need it to survive, but unless the enemy's running dive comps, in which case Ana's, not the best pick, you're not going to see Ana's really do the whole save myself nade, because a good Ana shouldn't need to do that unless she's getting dove. And even then, there's a reason for it. Like, if you're getting dove by a Genji or something, and, they attack, you can just kind of heal yourself and purple the Genji and have a chance at winning the fight. But because they nerfed it from 100 to 60, if you're trying to save your team, this is pretty slow when the enemy's actively damaging your team, whereas this saves so many people on your team all at once, because it's 60 per person it hits. Or it used to be 100 per person it hits, so if you hit 2, that's 200 healing right there, but now it's just 120 total. So it's... I fucking hate the nade nerf. If they're worried about Ana's survivability, just reduce her fucking health. Anyway, that tangent's over. The nade on impact will heal for 60. So flat out, it just... Whoever it hits gets healed for 60. And the third thing the nade does is... Notice I'm healing for about 2.5 bars every shot. What the nade can do is... You see how everyone's yellowed? It increases the amount of healing that target gets by, I think, 50%. So Ana's healing does about 75. So 3 bars, actually, my bad. But when you nade them, it'll do about, off the top of my head, I think it's like 112 or some shit. So yeah, if someone is in a really aggressive duel, like if you've got a Ryan who's really taking a beating, you just do this, and Ryan will live for a fucking minute. He will be alive. Because that 112 per shot is fucking insane. So yeah, that's everything on the nade. Sleep Dart. You just gotta hit it. You're gonna have to... there's 2 things you're gonna have to lead when it comes to the Sleep Dart. Because it's not just, look and shoot. It's not, that easy. The Sleep Dart has 2 things you have to factor in. You have to factor in the cast time, and you have to factor in the projectile. So you kind of have to learn how long it takes to pull it out, and, how fast the projectile is. What I will see a lot of Ana players do is they will aim at their target and not move their crosshair. Like, they think it locks on. That is not what you should be doing. This is like a general mechanic thing, but with Sleep Dart especially, it's a massive fucking thing. Never stop aiming. Like, if someone's, moving around, you don't want to hard lock your aim. You want to try to keep following and make sure you are always on target even before it is shot. So that when it is shot, you have a better chance of hitting, as opposed to, if you hard lock and commit to this angle, and then, they move. Well, I couldn't turn off the auto aim in my brain, I guess. But yeah, you want to lead when you're firing the shot. You don't want to just hard commit and then call it, because you will miss. And the last thing about Ana's kit is the Nano, which is, 90% of the reason Genji players love Ana players. What Nano does is it gives whoever you hit massive damage reduction, massive damage boost, and it'll heal. I think it's like, I don't even remember the full amount. I think it's like 2 or 250. It's a fucking lot. Which, if you were paying attention earlier, combined with the nade, that'll go from, let's just say 2. I actually do not remember the exact number. If you nade someone and then nano them, the nano does 250. The nade increases healing by like 50%. So the person gets healed for 375 total if you nade and then nano. And that's what you should be doing when your tank is in a fight. Like, I'm not going to go over squeeze again. Go watch the squeeze video for, the full explanation on this. But if you have someone who wants nano that fight, communicate, I'm going to nano you this fight. Wait for them to get low. Trust your gut, and then hit them with the nano. Don't open with the nano, because then the enemy can just back up and give up. Don't open with nano. Wait to use it until someone's low, and then save their life after the enemy's committed how many resources. And the last thing I want to go over really, really, really quick is positioning, because I'll see a lot of Ana players like either play up front here and try to be, this frontline DPS god, or, they'll just play, still pretty close to the team. Aggressively, you can do that. That's not the worst option. Evaluate the enemy comp, etc., etc. What you should be doing if you're not comfortable on Ana, or you're not sure how the enemy's playing, let's say the fight's happening over here in this box, play off to the side. Be an expensive target to hit. Put yourself in a position where you can hit your team, but the enemy has to work to hit you. And yeah, that's a really, I don't want to say brief, but brief-ish, 10 minutes or less on Ana. Peace.